Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for keeping us company. This is Channel 1 Lunchtime News, live from the corporation headquarters here at the Broadcasting House in Nairobi. My name is Edward Kabasa. We have a comprehensive coverage of today's news for you. But first, we'll take you to the Delta House, where the Council of Governors Chairperson Wycliffe Paranya is currently addressing the press. Of course, this is matters to do with the coronavirus and how counties are preparing themselves.
I have I've clearly said that counties are making their own provision through their own budgets, supplementary budgets, 5 billion in total Kenya shillings provided for that. And obviously, when you spend this money through the budget system, there are checks and balances that take care of such expenditure. But however, we have contributions like the ones we have received today. You can see it is in kind, because as Council of Governors, we have not received any cash. And in any case, if we were to receive any cash, we will take it to COVID-19 fund. We have that fund, which is administered by both the private sector and the county government, and I happen to be a member of that particular particular committee or the board. So any cash that is received will be taken to that particular fund. Has come up also with systems and procedures that it will use. So far, they have not distributed any money, but they have come up. We are using very established audit firms like Ernst & Young, Pricewaterhouse, who will monitor to ensure that when funds we start distributing, these funds will go. But for these other items, the government, we have taken a measure.
We do apologize for that technical difficulty, but as soon as everything is rectified, we'll take you back to the Delta House, where the Council of Governors is issuing a press briefing in line with the county's preparedness to deal with the spread of the coronavirus. Social distancing, one of the precautions put by the government to curb the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, still remains an uphill task to many Kenyans who do not seem to take the safety measures seriously. This was evident during an exercise of distributing free face masks to traders at the Mukuyu market in Murang'a County by the county government, who literally threw caution to the wind.
The government effort to tame the spread of COVID-19 pandemic appears to be an uphill task, as many Kenyans are still defying the directives issued by the Minister of Health. KBC Channel 1 did a spot check in Mukuyu Market in Murang'a County and discovered that residents do not observe social distancing. A case in question was when Area Governor Mwangi Wairia toured the market to distribute free masks to the locals.
Mimi vile naona wale wananchi ambao hawasikii tuchukue hatua. Unajua, huwezi kuona mtu anajinyonga na unakubali. Hata unasema unajua nilikuwa nimemwambia, sasa unaona amekufa. Wewe utakuwa ni wewe umemnyonga wewe.
Bereni kabla atupatia mask tulikuwa tunajifunga handkerchief ama leso. Kwa hivyo siku ya leo tuko na furaha vile ametupatia mask.
People gathered close to each other without much ado on the social distancing. The governor's handlers had a difficult time trying to control the crowd, an issue that did not go well with the governor, who openly showed his bitterness with the manner in which people gathered without any concern. Wairia also pointed out that a lot of children have been seen loitering and playing around in major towns, an issue he termed as risky for children being exposed to the imminent danger of COVID-19. He further said that those found not wearing face masks will also be arrested and charged.
Hii mambo ya kuomba iishe. Iwe sasa ni sheria. Kama mambo ya kutokaribiana ni sheria, hiyo ni sheria na iwe ni sheria. Lakini hii mambo ya watu wanaomba wengine, hiyo lazima tumalize.
Reacting to the ongoing construction of ICU at Murang'a Level 5 hostel that will take 21 days, the governor rubbished off those castigating the project and duration given, saying they are enemies of the progress.
Sisi kama county tumeanza ujenzi wa wadi mpya wing mpya ya ICU. Hiyo wing itakuwa na vitanda 35. Na hiyo ndio itakuwa ICU ile kubwa kabisa katika upande huu. Ile nyingine kubwa ambayo itakuwa zaidi kidogo ni ya Kenyatta Hospital. Na tumesema tunaijenga na siku 21.
Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Timothy Kipnusu.
Thank you very much, Timothy Kipnusu, for that report. Let us now cross over to Mombasa County, where Michael Madiga is standing by. The Kilifi County Deputy Governor Gideon SABURI was in court today. He is seeking to be released on bail. Madiga, over to you.
So mnataka nipe.
Good afternoon, Edward Kabasa. We are coming to you live from Mombasa Law Courts, whereby just some 10 minutes ago, Principal Magistrate, that is the Principal Magistrate, that is Elvis Micheka, has adjourned the case till tomorrow at around 9 a.m., whereby he'll be giving his ruling regarding the case of the Kilifi Deputy Governor, that is Mr. Gideon SABURI. Mr. Gideon SABURI has spent at most now 16 days at the Port Police, whereby he has been detained pending the judgment, which will happen just right behind me in this Mombasa Law Courts. The defense team, led by one senior counsel, that is Mr. George Kithi, said that there is no need for their client to continue being detained, as earlier on the DPP's team, that's the prosecution team led by one Mr. Edgar Mlamala, had applied that Kilifi Deputy Governor be detained for 10 more days at the Port Police so that they conclude their investigation, citing that if he is released on bond, it is that the witnesses will be at risk, as now they claim that several witnesses have claimed that they are claiming that they're being threatened or their life is in danger. They're being threatened regarding being witnesses for this case. But the defense team says that they have already given their report regarding the respondent, and they had applied is that the respondent be released on bond, so pending the investigations which will carry on for 10 days, that is to the prosecution team. So we'll be waiting for tomorrow, whereby we'll be giving you the details on the judgment, which will be done tomorrow. As you know that the Kilifi Deputy Governor had flaunted a government directive of 14 days isolation. This is after coming from a country which had cases of COVID-19, which had positive cases of COVID-19 rather. And so that is what we have for now. Of course, the details will be coming tomorrow on the judgment, of course, the state versus the Kilifi Deputy Governor, Mr. Gideon SABURI. I am Michael Mandiga, coming to you live from Mombasa County.
Thank you very much. That is Michael Mandiga coming live from Mombasa County, where Kilifi Deputy Governor Gideon SABURI has been seeking to be released on bail. More details on that will be coming to you a little bit later on. The closed multi-million Karuturi Flower Farm Hospital in Naivasha will be converted into an isolation center as the government steps up efforts to fight the global pandemic. The facility, which has been lying idle for the last 6 years since the flower farm collapsed, will be renovated to supplement the already available facilities spread across the country. Located 30 kilometers from Naivasha town, this facility is expected to bring some much-needed relief in efforts to prepare the country for a possible surge of COVID-19 cases.
We have seen it can work, so it is just for now the MOH team to sit down, make the necessary recommendation, and see if at all it can be used as an isolation center.
The facility previously owned by the Karuturi Flower Farm will be renovated to accommodate coronavirus patients.
Na sisi kama county na haswa kama ward pia tunajipanga, na ndivyo maana nikaongea na madirectors wakaniruhusu kwamba tutembee hapa na wageni kutoka katika Ministry of Health to assess the facilities that used to operate and serve so many people on whether we can make it as an isolation center.
In the latest statistics, Nakuru County has 5 confirmed coronavirus cases. The United States of America government has said it's going to stop funding to the World Health Organization, accusing it of failure to manage the deadly COVID-19 disease. U.S. President Donald Trump accused the UN agency of covering up the spread of coronavirus after it emerged in China. However, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has criticized Trump's decision, terming it the worst decision during World Health crisis.
U.S. President Donald Trump says the World Health Organization must be held accountable over its handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Trump accuses the UN agency of mismanaging and covering up the spread of the virus after it emerged in China.
Today I'm instructing my administration to halt funding of the World Health Organization while a review is conducted to assess the World Health Organization's role in severely mismanaging and covering up the spread of the coronavirus.
WHO is yet to directly respond, but UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the international community should be uniting in solidarity to stop this virus. The U.S. is the biggest contributor to the WHO budget. The number of people dying from coronavirus in the U.S. rose by at least 2,228, the highest in a single day on Tuesday, to exceed 28,300. The country has also more than 600,000 reported cases, 3 times more than any other country. Meanwhile, Denmark began reopening schools on Wednesday after a month-long closure over the novel coronavirus, becoming the first country in Europe to do so. Elsewhere, Pakistan is easing restrictions on several areas of its economy, including the construction and cement industries, to address rising unemployment and economic stagnation. While Thailand has extended a ban on incoming passenger flights until the end of the month, the Civil Aviation Authority of Thailand announced on Wednesday. In South Korea, polling stations opened on time for the country's 21st legislative elections. Voters have to wear masks, gloves, undergo a fever check and maintain social distance while moving only in a guided path in polling stations. 300 seats are up for the grab in the National Assembly, chosen by a combination of direct votes and proportional representation. In Africa, Zimbabwe has unveiled its plan for mass testing that aims to examine at least 33,000 suspected coronavirus cases by the end of the month. The country has so far confirmed 18 cases of coronavirus, while Nigeria has recorded its biggest one-day rise in coronavirus cases after confirming 30 new cases on Tuesday. The country has so far confirmed a total of 373 cases, including 11 deaths. Malawi's authorities have in the meantime declared a 21-day lockdown in the country to curb the spread of the virus. The country has to date confirmed a total of 16 coronavirus cases, including 2 deaths. Some 1.98 million people around the world have now been confirmed to have the new coronavirus, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. More than 126,500 have died, while nearly 486,500 have recovered. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News.
And in other matters, traders at the proposed NAKURU bus park engaged the police and county officers in running battles after their stalls were demolished by the county government. Police officers were forced to lob tear gas canisters at a mob that was looting property from the destroyed structures. Meanwhile, a senior police officer and a Kilifi County law enforcement officer have sustained injuries after irate border operators in Malindi stoned them while enforcing the COVID-19 pandemic directives.
Traders at the proposed NAKURU bus park clashed with county government enforcement officers as they protested the demolishing of their stalls. Trouble started after the merchants reported to work only to find their stalls destroyed and their property scattered on the streets. Even before they could salvage anything, a crowd had gathered and was looting. It took the intervention of police officers to disperse the looters. Traders condemned county enforcement officers for bringing down their stalls without first serving them with an eviction notice.
Leo kwanza leo hatuta kitu ya kukula. Juu tujeuza tuliamkia mambo maneno. Sasa shule tutafanya aje? Haki serikali tupeaga tu notice, mtu anahamisha kitu yake pole pole mpaka tusisumbuane, ikae kusumbuana.
Ni kitu ya maana sana, sababu ukipewa notice unaweza kujitayarisha pale, unaweza kwenda kuhamisha mali yako. Hii mali tumefanya hii kila kitu na hii na kupanda na kila kitu na nini, tukatumia pesa mfuko namna hivyo, lakini kitu ningeomba county government ni watuhurumia, si sababu kama tungekuwa tunapata notice tungekuwa tunaonelea vizuri, mtu ajue fahari anaweza kuhamia hizi vitu.
However, Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui, in a swift rejoinder, refuted claims that his administration was frustrating small business owners, saying the county government was only repossessing public land to facilitate infrastructure development. Meanwhile, police and Kilifi County security officer who are enforcing the COVID-19 safety measures at BP area sustained injuries after they were attacked by irate bodaboda operators. Traffic police officers had laid an ambush and were arresting bodaboda operators who are violating safety guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health. However, a number of offenders resisted arrest and began stoning the officers, injuring Base Commander George Naibei and a county government law enforcement officer. Malindi Sub-County Police Commander Vitalis Otieno confirmed the incident, saying the officers were taken to hospital for treatment and later discharged.
We managed to arrest several motorcyclists who are doing that offense, and we also managed to detain several motorcycles who are violating the rules concerning corona and the traffic rules. What I want to warn the motorcyclist is that any person caught violating the law shall be arrested.
Bodaboda operators claim the police are always harassing them, while in other areas their colleagues were operating smoothly while adhering to the rules. Security agencies in the county have widened the scope of operation to ensure bodaboda operators comply with government guidelines. Ben Chumba, reporting for Channel 1 News.
Renowned author and journalist Professor Ken Walibora is dead. The professor was allegedly hit by a public service vehicle on Landis Road in Nairobi. His body was discovered at the Kenyatta National Hospital mortuary on Monday by his family members. The literary veteran had been missing since Friday. He was 56 years old. His body is lying at the Kenyatta National Hospital mortuary. The late Walibora worked at KBC as a translator and news anchor before moving to Nation Media Group. He authored, among others, Siku Njema, Kufa Kuzikana, and Nasikia Sauti ya Mama. Meanwhile, President Uhuru Kenyatta has condoled with the family of celebrated Kenyan Kiswahili scholar, author, and journalist Professor Ken Walibora. The president described the late Walibora as a polished broadcaster and prolific writer whose literary works will continue to inspire future generations. Deputy President William Ruto, politicians, academicians, and journalists have also mourned Walibora. Ruto said the country had lost an outstanding academic, ingenious author, and a prolific journalist with a charming personality and humor. And on that sad note, we do take a break, but please do keep it here. Channel 1 Lunchtime News continues shortly.
Next on Corner.
She's gone back to work for Abasi. And you know what's worse? He's blackmailing me.
But she could have come to me. I have contacts too.
For once in my life, Ma, I want to do something on my own.
But you aren't on your own. You're with Abasi.
You need to concentrate.
Yes, Dad, but...
Yes, Coach.
She is the one who went to the police and told them that I am the one who broke into the gym. She is the one who is trying to destroy me.
On the next episode of Elena's Ghost.
You're not going anywhere. No,
I told you. Now let go of me, Mommy.
This other girl, what's she like? And how does she outdo Andrea? I know you like her.
killed her. They killed her.
The people that are going after her are dangerous. They already managed to get your daughter.
Not like Rebecca. And she really wanted to kill my son, but you always defended her.
Next on.
Nikwambia hapa ndani kama nani? Na maana sio wewe alokufuata humu ndani.
Hata dada, mimi ninafanya kumuona sasa hivi alivyoingia.
Zuena, huyu mtu simtaki hapa kwangu. Rajabu.
Tutaonana siku nyingine. Sawa, inshallah.
Afadhali sana na kuomba. Kuanzia leo, kuanzia dakika hii, usikanyage tena kwangu.
Tujali kazi zenu
Thank you very much for joining us. If you are doing so right now, but if you have been with us since the beginning, this is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Let us take a look at other stories we have for you this afternoon. Residents in the NAKURU town have raised concerns over the increased cases of insecurity owing to the ongoing dusk to dawn curfew. The residents claim the criminals are taking advantage of the situation as security officers concentrate elsewhere in enforcing the curfew.
Less than an hour after residents of Kanan village in Pipeline area of Nakuru town had retreated to the safety of their homes and remained indoors after the 7 p.m. deadline of the dusk to dawn curfew on Monday evening, a gang of thieves struck in the thick of the night when police patrols are expected to be intensified. The gang, which residents claim consists of 8 well-known criminals, appear to be in no hurry as it broke into dozens of shops, causing mayhem and making away with goods and money. Residents claiming that the gang had initially paraded itself as law enforcement officers ordered the locals to open doors to their houses, unleashing terror and attacking the residents with blunt objects.
Ona watu wanaruka na kugonga madirisha na mimi sina nguvu. Waliingia saa 4. Walikuwa nasema fungua mlango. Mimi singeweza kuwafungulia. Maana nikajua mimi sina kijana, nitasema nini? Mtu afanye Kenya anafanya kwa maana mlango inanisuia. Mlango ndio ilikuwa inanisuia maana nilijua hawezi kufunja.
The locals have voiced concerns that the criminals were now targeting elderly and widowed persons while carrying out criminal activities.
Ni vijana wetu pia. Hakuna mtu anaweza changia mtu akienda vibaya. Ile tunajiomba ya kwamba wajisalimishe na waache hiyo tabia, tulinde wazazi wetu.
Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
Malindi High Court Judge Ruben Nyakundi has lauded the use of technology by the judiciary in hearing and determining cases, saying the method is fast proving to be a game changer in approaching court matters. Justice Nyakundi said on Tuesday alone he managed to issue 25 judgments via Skype on cases which have for long been delayed.
Following the ongoing global COVID-19 pandemic, the judiciary has adopted the use of technology where magistrates and judges are allowed to hear and determine cases through Skype. The system, which was implemented to avoid social gathering, is now proving to be the game changer in approaching court matters. Malindi High Court Judge Ruben Nyakundi on Tuesday managed to issue 25 judgments via Skype on delayed appeals made by robbery with violence convicts.
For us, we have run around 100 cases. We are delivering 37 tomorrow. Today we are the 25, but some have 2 accused persons, 3 accused persons. Our projection is that we can get to Friday, just deliver the 100 mark, because we had that. What happens, we created quite a big backlog, and then the inlet and the outlet. So we then thought that this free time we have, we can then utilize it to be able to just put those judgments together.
Justice Nyakundi said the use of technology will not only help cut costs and risk of movement of the suspect from prison to the courts, but it will also expedite the process of dispensing justice.
An entry point to transform our sectors. More so where I work, where I'm very passionate that the question of waiting time, the question of reasonable time, the question of delivery, because if you hear every Kenyan, it talks about the delay. My judgment has delayed. My case has not moved. That waiting queue, we can kill it by having ICT as a platform.
According to Nyakundi, the judiciary opted to hear the cases during the COVID-19 pandemic to avoid additional backlog of cases and also test the efficiency of the use of technology. Through the use of Skype, several convicts who had appealed against their cases of robbery with violence were released, while others did not succeed to get their sentences reduced or released. Ben Chumba reporting for Channel 1 News.
Elsewhere, Bungoma County government has rubbished claims of alleged fraud in the purchase of hundreds of 20-litre jerrycans. The county deputy governor, Professor Ngome Kibanani, says the alleged misappropriated funds are safe in the county accounts, downplaying claims of any missing county resources. The deputy governor termed the allegations by a section of members of the Bungoma County Assembly as political scheme to tarnish the image of the leadership of the county. The MCAs had put Governor Wycliffe Wangamati on the spot over alleged fraud in the purchase of the jerrycans.
Jerrycans. This has, we first saw it in social media, but then one media house picked it up and the story went viral. So we were also surprised that we bought jerrycans. But as far as I'm concerned, we have the 120-litre water tanks which were donated to the county government, and we send them to markets. They are in use as I speak today. But no single jerrycan, 20-litre jerrycan, was ever bought. In fact, we don't have any 20-litre jerrycans within the markets. What we distributed were 120-litre water tanks which were not bought. So it is all propaganda, and I think it is all about 2022 politics.
Deputy President William Ruto now claims that people behind the fraudulent attempt to make changes within the Jubilee Party are crooks and not authorized officials. In a tweet, Ruto said the majority of Jubilee members of parliament drawn from both the National Assembly and the Senate have rejected the changes. The DP has accused some people within the ruling party of being heartless gangsters out to use the coronavirus pandemic to push their selfish political agenda. 146 Jubilee members of parliament have petitioned the registrar of political parties to stay the proposed structural changes to the party's national management committee. The lawmakers, allied to the deputy president, have joined the DP in castigating a section of Jubilee leadership of orchestrating what they have termed as a coup.
Hawa wakora walienda wakafanya changes yao, na wakiulizwa wanasema ni Rais Uhuru Kenyatta alisema ifanywe hiyo changes ifanyike.
Because we have more than 150 members of parliament, more than 30 Kenyans of goodwill who have written to the registrar of political parties declaring that whatever Murathe and his group and other characters were doing was against the law.
Ruto has continuously protested the changes made in Jubilee Party's National Management Committee, saying they are fraudulent and have been orchestrated by crooks. Senior Jubilee officials on Wednesday held a meeting with the registrar of political parties over the latest upheaval, which has created sharp division in the ruling party. Meanwhile, Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru has called for an end to the ongoing political bickering in the country.
We have been very concerned in the last 1 week or so about the political temperatures that are being raised by certain individuals in Kirinyaga County. There's been individuals who've been going around insulting me and trying to agitate young people to riot.
Waiguru spoke even as a section of MCAs accused her of being behind a spate of targeted attacks against perceived supporters of her impeachment motion.
Tuko tayari. Hata wale watu tunatumiwa. Mahali wametoka, sisi tuko.
Hii nataka kusema ni njama. Inapangwa ya kusurutisha na kutisha MCAs kwa sababu ya ile mjandara inaendelea katika bunge ya kaunti. Mimi nataka kusema siku ya leo, asubuhi ya leo nikiwa hapa nyumbani, ya kwamba hiyo mjandara haitakwama, itaendelea.
Suspected arsonists torched the home of Mutira Ward MCA David Kenyo Wangoi, further raising political temperatures in the county.
The Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai is urging the public to cooperate with law enforcers and ensure total compliance with the curfew directive. Mutyambai, who is in Mombasa to inspect implementation of both the dusk to dawn curfew and cessation of movement directive, also encouraged the public to follow guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health to the latter to avoid breaking the law.
Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai has warned Kenyans flouting the curfew and movement cessation directives of dire consequences.
It is compulsory to put the face masks. This is through the Gazette notice dated 6th of this month of April, which was issued by the Office of Attorney General, directing that all people should put on the face masks. These attracts failure to that. These attracts a stiff fine of 20,000 or imprisonment of 6 months or both if you fail to comply.
Mutyambai, who is inspecting compliance of the public to the directives issued by the government, says buses from Mombasa that had tried to sneak into Nairobi were ordered back and operation permits together with the driver's licenses cancelled. A statement released by the National Multi-Agency Command Center on COVID-19 clarified that only commercial vehicles transporting food and farm produce, commercial vehicles transporting lawful cargo, and ambulances transporting patients to hospital will be allowed in and out of Nairobi, Mombasa, Kilifi, and Kwale.
I know we got some of the buses which had escaped from this region, and we had to return the buses back to Mombasa. And on top of that, those buses, operation license were cancelled, and the driver's driving license were cancelled. This is a very punitive measures which I don't want to encourage as long as the members of public adheres to this directive.
The statement further says that commercial vehicles shall carry 1 driver and 2 passengers authorized by the employer in writing will be allowed passage to the 4 counties under cessation. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Ben Troinjue.
Police officers in Kiambu County have arrested a suspected mastermind of streetlight theft in the area. The suspect was caught red-handed last night on top of a streetlight pole. Kiambu Member of Parliament Jude Njomo says he will introduce a bill in Parliament to curtail theft of streetlights by allowing Kenya Power Company and the Rural Electrification Authority REA as the only authorized personnel to manage Kiambu County streetlights.
Kiambu Member of Parliament Jude Njomo will introduce a bill in Parliament to curtail the theft of street lighting in public institutions, saying the bill will only allow Kenya Power and Lighting Company and Rural Electrification Authority to be authorized to handle the issue of street lights. This comes after Kiambu police officers caught in the act a street light thief last night. The legislator condemned the act, saying there are some unscrupulous contractors given contracts by county governments to install street lighting in wards and towns, and instead of sourcing the materials from relevant dealers, they opt to use criminals.
Na ningependa kuwauliza police station ya Kiambu wahakikishe wamejua hii mataa inaenda wapi, kwa sababu hata tukipata yule ambaye anatoa na hatujapata yule ambaye ananunua, kwa sababu ile shida ambayo inafanya hii mataa ibiwe ni kwamba national government wakati inataka kuweka mataa yake inatumia Kenya Power and Lighting kuweka hizo mataa, na pia inatumia Rural Electrification Authority kuweka mataa. Lakini wakati county government za hapa nchi zinataka kuweka mataa, zinapatia contractors, na contractors ni wazuri, wanafanya kazi mzuri, lakini kuna 2 3 ambao akili yao, mawazo yao na vitendo vyao ni vya wizi.
NGCDF Chairman Stephen Mwaura said a total of 104 streetlights in Kanunga and Dumberi village are missing as the curfew continues with criminal gangs taking advantage of the government restrictions.
Afungwe hata kama ni miaka 10 ndio afunze kwa wengine. Ule ambaye atashikwa amefanya hivyo ni vizuri ashikwe, afungwe ndio wale wengine ambao wanaiba waone wasirudie kufanya hivyo tena.
Still in Kiambu, a 75-year-old businessman was killed by unknown assailants in Tinganga village, Kiambu sub-county. According to the relatives, the businessman has been missing ever since the Easter weekend.
Waliua yeye, walibeba vitu vingine, manake madro ilikuwa imefunguliwa na vitu vingine imemiss, na hata CCTV ilikuwa imetolewa. Kwa hivyo hiyo inaonekana ni mtu anajua nyumba.
His lifeless body was found in his house with his hands and legs tied with a rope. The body of the trader was moved to the Kenyatta University mortuary. Fiona Shuru for Channel 1.
You are watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. A quick break here, but don't go anywhere. We still have plenty more lined up for you.
Hello Tiffany.
Has he taken anything?
Hapana, hakuna kitu baadhi yako nacho.
Okay, sawa. Well, Steph over here is already as stubborn as Njugunu.
I just happen to be very good at becoming rude as well.
How did you get this job? Are you family?
What family? Do you have a problem?
Why are you people shouting?
This man thinks that he can come from wherever and come and teach me how to do my job.
Jill, really?
Oh, hi.
I'm fine.
Do I know you from somewhere?
I'm your brother.
Welcome. Embakasi Utawala tuko locked. Ungem Utanyahururu Kasuku Massive.
Jeshi ya Nyeri Coast Maua Nakuru ko locked mbaya.
Kigumo Ward na ambao wote wako ndani ya KBC Channel 1.
Akulaliki Wednesday bila the ref.
Mbotela Outer Idara Kitengela.
Kiambu County 33 Pipeline Meru anawakilisha.
Rongai Maboxer pale go down. Karatina Outer Mlolongo wana enjoy show. Lare Sub County Outer Githurai 45. Lanet Barracks tuko ndani yake. Okongo Outer Carnation Maragwa Seti Nairobi.
Fika wako locked mbaya sana.
Watu wangu wa Nakuru Ngwaro.
Outer Gilgil live kutoka Mazeras Bahati Massive. Thika Massive. Siaya Shikambi Kakamega Bungoma County.
Kusia Boda
Kisumu City.
Malindi yote iko ndani ya the ref.
When I'm in Kenya, I tune in to the rave. Get your mind brave, focus, conscious.
Kenya,
East Africa.
Right.
Keep it locked.
Welcome back. The commercialization of genetically modified cotton is set to start in October this year after the government procured 16 metric tons of an assortment of hybrid BT cotton seeds in preparation for the rollout. Agriculture Chief Administrative Secretary Ann Nyaga says the seeds procured from Bayer and Mayho will undergo final environmental assessment before being distributed to farmers.
Despite Kenya having the potential to produce 260,000 bales of cotton, the country produces a meager 10,000 bales of lint annually against an annual consumption average of 110,000 bales of lint. In a bid to spur the textile and apparel industry, late last year the cabinet approved commercialization of GMO cotton. Agriculture Chief Administrative Secretary Ann Nyaga says commercialization of the GMO variety is earmarked for October this year after meeting all safety requirements.
These demonstration sites will be used for teaching farmers and extension service providers from all over the country, so that full commercialization will be done during the short rains, that is October, November.
The government has started procuring hybrid GMO cotton seeds from multinationals, with the first batch set to be distributed to farmers in 720 demonstration sites.
Working closely with the respective county governments to identify farmers who will be given seed, hybrid seed, non-BT hybrid seed, and also those who will participate in the demonstration sites, those who will provide farms for demonstration sites.
The Agriculture Chief Administrative Secretary says all BT cotton seeds procured from international companies will undergo a mandatory environment assessment before being released to farmers.
We also took the seeds through the National Biosafety Authority for the safety measures and got the approvals for the approvals to plant the BT cotton.
The government targets to increase cotton farmers from the current 30,000 to 200,000 farmers over the next 3 years. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Tatu City has opened a certified water testing laboratory to ensure water quality at the 5,000-acre new city development in Nairobi. The lab is equipped with advanced technology to analyze basic water parameters, physical and chemical parameters, as well as microbiological aspects of water samples collected from different sectors or sections of the city's supply chain. Here are details of this and other stories in our local business roundup.
Staffed by 2 analysts trained in laboratory management system and water quality and safety planning, the water testing lab is equipped with advanced technology to analyze physical and chemical parameters of the water as well as microbiological aspects of water samples collected from different sections of Tatu City supply chain. Officials say the lab, which is operated by Tatu City Water and Sanitation Company, allows them to monitor the quality of water as part of process control and ensure that residents receive the highest quality of drinking water in line with the standards. Experts have projected that by the year 2050, about 60% of humans will be living in cities. Meanwhile, Ecobank Kenya Limited has donated 10 million shillings towards the fight of the spread and impact of the coronavirus in Kenya. The money will be channeled through the recently formed COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund. Ecobank's donation follows the government's appeal to individuals, corporate entities, development partners and multinational institutions to support the COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund, formed to spearhead mobilization of resources for an emergency response towards containing the spread, effects and impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in Kenya. Ecobank Kenya Regional Executive for Central, Eastern and South Africa, Sheikh Travali, lauded efforts by the government, emergency response teams and all frontline staff across the country working hard to prevent the spread of the deadly virus and preserve lives. Finally, insurance brokerage firm Minet Kenya has partnered with SASA Doctor Virtual Medical Clinic to launch a telemedicine solution aimed at providing online live video medical consultation services for patients. This comes in the wake of the government's directive to maintain social distancing as one of the ways of curbing the spread of COVID-19.
Oil prices fell significantly as fears of weaker demand gripped the market. The West Texas Intermediate for May delivery shed $2.30 to settle at $20.11 a barrel, while the benchmark Brent crude for June delivery decreased $2.14 to close at $29.60 a barrel. Here are the details of this and other stories from across the globe.
Investors continued to worry about a demand hit due to travel restrictions and trade disruptions resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 1.9 million confirmed COVID-19 cases have been reported globally, with 125,196 deaths. Experts warned of a potential global supply glut of crude, despite the OPEC's history production cuts on Sunday to reduce output by 9.7 million barrels per day for May and June after 4 days of talks. According to an OPEC statement on the deal, from July through the end of 2020, the cut will decrease to 7.7 million BPD and will then be followed by an adjustment of 5.8 million BPD for another 16 months till the end of April 2020. Meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund says global financial markets have been heavily impacted by COVID-19 crisis and that the global economy is on track to contract by 3% in 2020 as a result of the pandemic. IMF Financial Counselor Tobias Adrian said that it is important to take aggressive policy measures to get through the crisis. He said that overall he expects interest rates and inflation to stay low for an extended period. Adrian says banks are generally better prepared to deal with the fallout from the pandemic than before the financial crisis. Even if the pandemic will be brought under control at the end of the year, the IMF only foresees a partial recovery in 2021. Finally, the founder and boss of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, has seen his wealth swell by $24 billion after soaring demand for online shopping sent the firm's share price to a new high. Bezos now has a fortune of $138 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, cementing his position as the world's richest man. Amazon has benefited from surging internet shopping by people forced to stay at home during the COVID-19 outbreak. The firm has been recruiting thousands of workers to cope with demand. With millions now working from home, online meeting site Zoom has seen founder Eric Yuan's fortune more than double to $7.4 billion. The Bloomberg Billionaires Index said the world's 500 richest people lost $553 billion so far this year. Fiona Shuru, Channel 1 Business News.
Let's take a look at some sports news now. Kenyan Dano WANJIRU, winner of the 2016 Amsterdam Marathon and the 2017 London Marathon, has been provisionally suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit, AIU, for use of prohibited substance. The 27-year-old cannot participate in any competition until a hearing has taken place.
According to Athletics Integrity Unit, Daniel WANJIRU, a two-time Prague Half Marathon winner in 2015 and 2016, is accused of breaching Article 2.2 of World Anti-Doping Rules as far as athlete blood passport is concerned, after irregularities were detected in his samples. WANJIRU holds the Amsterdam Marathon title that he claims in 2016, where he clocked 2 hours, 5 minutes and 21 seconds. His last appearance was in the 2019 London Marathon, where he finished 11th, timing 2 hours, 8 minutes and 40 seconds. WANJIRU joins the list of some other Kenyan athletes who were suspended, including former marathon world record holder Wilson Kipsang, who was charged in January for whereabouts failures and tampering, both violations of the World Athletics Anti-Doping Rules. Frederick Mwoki for Channel 1 Sports.
And in other matters, the Italian Soccer League suspension has been extended to 3rd of May to conform to the Italian government's lockdown measures announced on Tuesday. All sporting activities in Italy had been altered until April as the country moves to contain the spread of the virus. Italy has been one of the worst hit countries in the world, with over 159,000 cases of coronavirus and 20,000 deaths.